Hospitals, a week of care and recovery. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my story about hospitals. My name is James, and today I'm going to share with you an experience I had with a hospital during a challenging week. Hospitals are places we all know about. They're where we go when we're sick, need help, or just want to feel better. They can feel big and busy, but they're full of people trying to make things right. This story is about a time when I wasn't feeling well, had to visit the hospital, and learned a lot along the way. It's a week of appointments, questions, and getting back on my feet. I hope you enjoy listening to it. Let's get started. I work at Office Comfort Company, a company that sells office furniture like desks, chairs, and shelves. I'm a sales assistant, and my job keeps me busy, talking to clients, typing orders, and helping my team. Usually, I'm pretty healthy, but last week, something felt off. It started on a Monday morning when I woke up with a sore throat and a headache. I thought it was just a cold, so I drank some tea, took a painkiller, and went to work. The office is a 30-minute bus ride from my house, and I made it there by 8 a.m., feeling tired but okay. At my desk, I tried to focus, calling a client about a chair order, but my throat got worse, and my head felt heavy. By 10 a.m., I was coughing too. My coworker, Sarah, noticed and said, "James, you don't look good. Maybe see a doctor?" I nodded. She was right. I told my manager, Miss Carter, "I'm not feeling well. Can I leave early?" She said, "Of course, James. Take care of yourself." I left at noon, took the bus home, and decided to call the hospital. I opened my laptop and found the website for Central City Hospital, the biggest one nearby. It had a phone number for appointments. I dialed it at 1 p.m., and a woman answered, "Central City Hospital, how can I help you?" I said, "Hi, I'm James Wilson. I'd like to book an appointment. I've got a sore throat and headache." She asked, "When do you want to come in?" I said, "As soon as possible." She checked and said, "We have a slot tomorrow, Tuesday, at 9 a.m. with Dr. Lee. Does that work?" I said yes, gave her my phone number, and she said, "See you then, James." I hung up, feeling relieved to have a plan. Tuesday morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. My throat was still sore, and now I had a slight fever, 37.8 degrees Celsius. I ate a light breakfast, toast and water, got dressed, and took a taxi to the hospital. It's 20 minutes from my house, and I didn't want to risk the bus feeling this way. I arrived at 8:45 a.m. and walked into the main entrance. The hospital was big, white walls, signs for different departments, and people everywhere. I found the reception desk and said, "Hi, I'm James Wilson. I have a 9 a.m. appointment with Dr. Lee." The receptionist checked her computer, gave me a form, and said, "Fill this out and wait over there." The form asked for my name, address, phone number, and symptoms. I wrote, sore throat, headache, fever, cough. I handed it back at 8:55 a.m. and sat in the waiting area, rows of chairs, a TV showing health tips, and about 10 other people. At 9:05 a.m., a nurse called, "James Wilson?" I followed her to an exam room, small, with a bed, a sink, and a chair. She said, "Dr. Lee will be here soon," and left. I waited, feeling my throat scratch with every swallow. Dr. Lee came in at 9:15 a.m., a man in a white coat, about 40 years old. "Hi, James," he said. "What's going on?" I told him, "I've had a sore throat and headache since yesterday, and now a fever and cough." He nodded, checked my temperature, 38 degrees Celsius, and looked at my throat with a light. "It's red and swollen," he said. He listened to my chest with a stethoscope and asked, "Any allergies?" I said no. He said, "It might be a throat infection. We'll do a swab to check." A nurse came in, swabbed my throat, it tickled, and took it away. Dr. Lee said, "Results in an hour. I'll prescribe something for now, rest and come back if it gets worse." He gave me a paper for antibiotics and painkillers. I thanked him and left the room at 9:45 a.m. I went to the hospital pharmacy, down the hall, a small counter with shelves of medicine. I handed over the prescription and said, "Hi, I'm James. I need these filled." The pharmacist checked it, grabbed 2 bottles, antibiotics and paracetamol, and said, "Take the antibiotics twice a day for 5 days, and paracetamol as needed. That's $15. I paid with my card, got a receipt, and left at 10 a.m. The swab results would come by phone, so I took a taxi home, arriving at 10:30 a.m. I took the first dose, drank water, and rested. At 11:30 a.m., Dr. Lee called. "James, your swab shows a bacterial infection, tonsillitis. The antibiotics should help. Rest, drink fluids, and call if you feel worse." I thanked him and stayed in bed, sipping tea. Tuesday was quiet. I emailed Ms. Carter, diagnosed with tonsillitis, out for a few days. She replied, "Get well soon, James." Wednesday, I felt a little better, fever down to 37.5 degrees Celsius, throat still sore. I stayed home, taking medicine and sleeping. Thursday, the fever was gone, but the cough lingered. I called the hospital at 10 a.m. to check in. "Hi, I'm James Wilson. I saw Dr. Lee Tuesday. Should I come back?" The nurse said, "If the fever's gone, keep taking the antibiotics. Come in if the cough worsens." I said okay and rested more, feeling progress. Friday, I hit a bump. The cough got worse, dry and constant, and my throat felt raw again. I called the hospital at 9 a.m. "Hi, I'm James Wilson. My cough's bad. Can I see Dr. Lee today?" The receptionist said, "He's booked, but we have a 2 p.m. slot with Dr. Patel." "Okay?" I said yes and took a taxi, arriving at 1:45 p.m. I checked in, filled out another form, worse cough, sore throat, and waited. At 2:10 p.m., a nurse took me to an exam room. Dr. Patel, a woman in her 30s, came in. "Hi, James. Dr. Lee's notes say tonsillitis. What's new?" I said, "The fever's gone, but the cough's worse." She checked my throat, still red, listened to my chest, and said, "The infection's improving, but the cough might be irritation. I'll add a syrup." She wrote a prescription and said, "Finish the antibiotics, come back if it's not better by Monday." I thanked her, got the syrup from the pharmacy, $10, and went home at 3 p.m. The syrup helped. I coughed less that night. Saturday, I rested, taking all my medicines. The throat was less sore, and the cough eased. Sunday, I felt almost normal, just a slight tickle. I emailed Ms. Carter, "Much better, back Monday." She said, "Glad to hear it, James." Monday, I returned to work, still taking antibiotics but feeling good. I told Sarah, "The hospital fixed me up." She laughed, "Good thing, they're pros." That week taught me hospitals are lifelines. From booking appointments to getting medicine, they guide you through. It wasn't fun being sick, but I'm grateful for the care. That's my hospital story. I hope you liked it. Hospitals can be scary, but they help us heal. Have you visited one lately? Thank you for listening, and see you next time.